Hello everybody, Cone Dodger here. Welcome back to Race the Sun. It's time for the weekly Race the Sun challenge. 30 minutes on the clock. My phone just turned off, so that 30 minutes will have to wait. There we go, 30 minutes on the clock. Let's hit play, and let's see how we do on today's challenge. As always, starting off with the easier stage, getting recalibrated to how to control my solar-powered spaceship, which isn't really a spaceship now, is it? Because we don't really leave whatever planet this is. Okay, so shouldn't have gone down this. All good things to find out. Lots of trees, tries. Someday I'm going to decide how to say that. In this first stage, it seems. Okay, we'll use the I think that may have been a ramp. It was hard to tell. Alright, so today is Friday, October... Is today the 2nd or the 1st? It's some day in October, and it is a Friday. I intended to record this much earlier in the week. I think I say that a lot. I think I say the words I had intended to record more than any other phrase in my vocabulary. Oh, I don't like this area. But it was... It was on my mind to record early in the week because this is my platform for talking about things that are not necessarily gameplay related. And as I mentioned in the last Race the Sun, had something interesting going on. Not that that happens very often in my little world. So I was pretty excited about it. We're doing a Chumpcar race in Sebring, Florida, where I was working as a crew member on a team that I guess you would describe me as being there to support a driver. However, I end up just supporting the whole team because, well, what the heck else am I gonna do on there, right? And it's advantageous for us because I want to see the car win. I want to be part of a winning team. Basically, is what it boils down to. 2. Wow, that was pretty good. Oh, I think I almost got all of them. All right, so let's go over some of the finer details of not running into blocks, of how all that went. So it was my first trip to Sebring. It's about a 5-ish hour trip. I drove part of the way, but it's really not bad. It's funny, it's a 5-hour trip, but it feels like a way shorter trip than it does to Atlanta, where we frequently go for races at Road Atlanta. Wow, I think it's the first time I've ever made it through one of these. So that wasn't too bad. It's a very strange part of Florida because there's no highways leading to it. It's just kind of... Right into that guy. It's just kind of right in the middle of the state. You make your turn as if you're going to Orlando, and then you just don't stop in Orlando. You just keep going, and eventually you end up in the middle of nowhere, and you're at Sebring. It is normally a like retirement town, so not a whole lot of activity going on around the Sebring area, which is nice because that means that the track, gets to stay. Not many people complain about it. I had some preconceived impressions of wow, I'm doing really bad. Of what it would be like just off of, playing in video games and Sims and stuff like that, seeing it on TV. But it was maybe a little different than I even expected. Let's see if we can do this again. Nope, missed one again. It's a very old track, and it's not a particularly... I hate to use the term well-kept because that makes it sound like it's run down. It's not the Disney World of tracks. Like, when we go to a track like Daytona, maybe that's not the perfect example. It is now that they're rebuilding it. It's very touristy. It's set up for fans to be, you know, kind of coddled. Versus Sebring is not that way at all. It's... Oh, I'm almost getting good at these. It's almost set up like they built it in the 50s, like they did, and just kind of kept it like that. It's not gotten all super fancified and blown up into some kind of huge attraction. It's just a racetrack. It's also a very rough and ooh, a nice portal thing. Those are good to have. It's very rough and rough around the edges kind of track. Let's get this. Oh, I missed the bridge. Yep, that's no good. But we had a portal. Now we're way up here. Oh, you can't get the things when you're this high. Okay, we'll get this one. Whoop, whoop. Oh, this is probably not going to be a good day for me. I'm very excited and more focused on telling my experiences of the weekend. So, sorry. So yeah, I guess that's enough of describing the track. That's about as good a description as I can give you. It's just not touristy, which I think it's cooler. It feels more like a raw, genuine experience rather than I'm here to be entertained kind of experience. So that is why I enjoyed the facility. I got to tour it a little bit, but pretty much the moment we got there, we started helping out the team, getting the cars unloaded and everything, getting our pit box set up, because it's a 14-hour race. You want to be comfortable, you want to have your pit box set up nicely. Okay. Not very good at all. Well. Use 2 emergency. Oh, well, if we can get to the third one, I can do that. Maybe go right. This is kind of a tricky one so far. Okay. Just kidding. Don't go right. So yeah, we get there. Oh good, my ship's still exploding. Fantastic. We get there Friday evening. Set up the pit box and everything. Most of that had already been done. It was just kind of wow, this is a tough one. Setting up everything was pretty much already done, just making some like fine-tuning of stuff. 14 hours, you want to be comfortable, you want to have everything there. So we get that done and go to the hotel, which is on the track. Probably the coolest part of the whole facility is the hotel. It's like built onto one of the corners of the track. We had 2 rooms. Damon's mother always typically goes with us to the races. She's a pretty big supporter of his budding racing career, so she likes to attend. Her room was freaking awesome, and it had a balcony that was on the racetrack, and from what I could see in my limited touring of the track, the best vantage point of the whole facility. So I thought that was really cool. It was great for her because she's older. She doesn't need to be, running around the track trying to get vantage points. It's a big track. The place is huge. I never even saw the whole thing while I was there. Okay, we're fine. Everything's fine. So it's great. She got to watch the whole race, from her room and just sit on the balcony and watch the car go by. Damon himself was in the Lexus. You have seen this if you watched the little video I put up of my perspective of the weekend through the GoPro on my head for a little while and showed a little footage of what it's like. Everybody seemed to really like that, so probably do more of that in the future. And yeah, that was pretty much all we did Friday. And then Saturday we wake up pretty early, 6-ish, because we had to run into wall of snow because no, that happens later. Because just last minute prep before the race. Race started at 9, ended at 11. Is that right? Sure. something 9/11 Illuminati. Gosh, is that right? I think it's 9 till 11. That'd be 14 hours, right? Don't judge me. Yeah, sure. So yeah, we get everything set up for getting the race started, getting the cars on track. and everything pretty much went really smoothly. Okay, that is in fact a wall, in case anybody was wondering. The shadow, oops, punch the microphone. Shadow makes it look like it's a ramp, I swear. I swear. Drink. So the first hour or so of the race, I just kind of sat around waiting for stuff to happen. Pit stops happen every 2 hours-ish. We have 2 cars, and it's the same crew for both cars, so obviously I have to work on both of them. I was suited up as basically the fire bottle guy. My responsibility, as you saw, so sorry if I'm being redundant. My responsibility was to get the catch tray under the car and then point a fire bottle at the guy doing the fueling, just in case something went wrong. The way we refuel the car was one of the talks of the race. A lot of people taking note of that, which is weird because we've been doing that for years now and nobody's ever really said anything. But yeah, we use some backyard engineered cans that help us dump fuel rather quickly. And because this is Chumpcar, all this stuff is pretty tightly regulated. No, you're not going to see people out there using NASCAR style jugs or anything like that. But you know, for $10 a can, they figured out a way to vent them properly and makes it so we can fuel faster. So that made it nice because we could fuel the car in about, oh, gotta jump. Didn't hit it right. We could fuel the car in about half of the pit stop time of 5 minutes. So, you know, we had the rest of the time to check over the car, make sure the lug nuts were tight still. Because in using the same set of tires for the whole race, you're not used to having wheels on a car for that long. You know, if you have the same set of wheels on a car for 14 hours, the lug nuts tend to get loose as you go. Alright, we're having a pretty good run here, so let me focus a little bit. But yeah, we just grab a torque wrench and tighten the wheels, redo the cool suit box. Dang it. Which is basically just filling the little cooler full of ice. Not too hard. Get a drink. I'm recording this very early in the day for me, so I feel as though my voice is not awake yet. That's alright. Much to do this week, much to do. Had some cool stuff going on during the week that you guys will see soon. But yeah, it kept me pretty busy, so I'm trying to get stuff done today, starting early. Get out of the shade. So for the first half of the race, everything went really... How do you get through there? Like, where do you go from there? I'm doing terribly. Whoop, and a whoop. We'll get those barrel rolls in. Yeah, first half of the race, really the first 3/4 of the race, everything went really smoothly. I got into a rhythm of doing the stops. I did accidentally discharge fire extinguisher once because it was sitting on a pit wall, and I went to grab it. I grabbed it by the top handle, not the bottom handle. That was a wasted jump. So, whoops. Made just a little mess. No biggie. No biggie. But yeah, the whole crew, everybody that was there, some of them were new to me. But that team, it's a very family-run affair. So it's basically just a husband and wife that were kind of owning-ish the team, running the team, and then their parents had their RVs and everything, and were just there as support and feeding us and doing stuff like that. So just really great people. It's always a pleasure working with them. So it really made the whole thing a whole lot of fun. So, whoa. Okay. So maybe, I think a sound effect freaked out there. Maybe 10 hours or so into the race, we had the Lexus, which is the #1 car, if you will. Let me explain that a little bit. The 2 cars, the drivers besides the one guy who owns-ish the car, I don't know if he owns or not. He's involved with the team. He doesn't pay to drive that car, but the rest of the drivers do. They like rent their spot in the car, and I don't want to go into the specifics, but it's, let's just say, to drive the car in a race, it's less than 4 figures, so that kind of gives you an idea. And from there you pay for your individual stints and whatnot. Is there any way out of here? Yes, okay. So the Lexus, which is the one that Damon was in, is a winning car. It was the defending winner of this race. Should have jumped. Okay, no, it's not too bad. This is gonna be our best run so far, I think. So most of the emphasis went to that. The other car, which is a 300ZX, or dang it, should have got the portal. Dealing 526 is not terrible. This must be a hard one. The Z used to be a winning car, and it still is a winning car, but it is no longer eligible for the main Chumpcar series. It is forced to run in a class called EC, which does not count for the overall results, so it's basically ineligible for Chumpcar. It's just running to run. You can still win the EC class, but nobody, I hate to word it this way, but nobody really cares who wins EC. So that car, it doesn't get as much emphasis. Even though it is, to me, my favorite car. I really love that car. It's so Mad Max looking. It really is the epitome of a Chump car to me. But the Lexus ends up with a 3-lap lead at one point, and everything's just going great, smoothly. Damon gets in the car for his last stint, and I am actually calling on the radio, because that was my other responsibility, was to be on the radio for part of the time, as just kind of the crew chief position to listen in to any problems. So I'm listening in and watching lap times, because we use an app called Race Monitor to look at lap times and overall standings and whatnot. And he's setting pretty good lap times, 10-ish seconds faster than anyone else on the track. So we call to him and I'm saying, you're setting great pace. Drive comfortably though. Drive in a way that isn't necessarily pushing. Ooh, just clipped it. But isn't gonna screw you up, because sometimes you try and slow down and it screws you up. So I tell him that, and he sets the fastest lap of the session. And we're all like, all right, Damon, you need to slow down. We don't want to throw away this 3-lap lead. Okay, let's jump. So he does. He actually does for some time. And everything is quiet, everything is good. And then all of a sudden I get a call on the radio. Whoop. not whoop. I get a call on the radio, car won't start. And I'm just I look at everybody who's looking at me, and I'm like, the car won't start? Why is it not running? What has happened to cause this to need to be started, Oh, that was a good ish save. And we're trying to figure it out and trying to get information from him. And it's just it'll start and shut off, and still have no idea why is it not running, Damon? As it turns out, there was a little bit of contact with a slower lapped car that ended up making him lose control and nudge into one of the walls, which is a bummer, because when you rent a car like this, if you damage the car... Okay, this is where this run ends. No, we're still going, but now it ends. I had a portal? When did I get a portal? Okay. Solar energy is depleted. Nice. Method of death. Post thingy. That was a good run, though. 510 now. 510's a good number. Datsun 510. So, yeah, we call on the radio, and finally we get out of him that the car has been crashed, and so he's calling in that, you know, they're gonna have to tow him back on the flatbed. The track workers say the car looks fine, just pull the fenders out and you'll be good to go. So we get the car in, and yeah, it was pretty decently damaged on the side, and because he does rent the seat, he will be responsible for paying to fix that damage. Sucks to be him, but I know him, he's got the money to do it. But the biggest, disappointment was 3-lap lead. Just by the time we got the car back to the pits, the 3-lap lead was gone. And then it really didn't take us very long, if you watch the video, to figure it out. I had honestly already figured out what had gone wrong just by what he was saying, because the car had fuel pressure, and once he said the car had made contact with the wall, I was like, it must have knocked the intake off the MAF, or the MAF got unplugged. So, the computer's not able to figure out how much fuel to give it. And that was indeed the case. So it didn't take very long, get the MAF on there, pull the fenders out. At that point, we were about 2-3 laps down from the leader, and that was it. So from there, it's just, it's just survival. Basically, you're just finishing out the last couple hours just to do it. It was great that the team owner, David, was able to... I don't know if he's a team owner. I think he's just like a business partner with them. But anyway, he was able to get the car back up into podium contention, so that was great. The other car, the Z, we threw a hot shoe in that car at the end because we noticed that car was like up into contention to maybe get itself up on the podium and win EC, which isn't, like I mentioned, the biggest thing to do during the weekend, but it'd still be nice. So we do that, and this kid is just phenomenally fast. He couldn't be... I never really got to talk to him too much. He's a Pirelli World Challenge driver, which means, entry-level pro race driver. And... oh, let's jump. Okay, everything's good. Let's get another jump. Nice. But he was just unbelievably quick with the car, and that car had been flawless the whole time. I need a mid-run drink. So it'd been really flying, getting towards the front, and then with an hour to go, the brake caliper, I think the brake caliper bolt broke. Okay, there's the explosions, there's the balls. Watch the balls. Which, when the brake caliper broke, okay, there's an explosion. I can jump. It's gonna give me probably a portal at the end here. Nope. Didn't hit anything. Let's really focus for a second. I think I got time to finish this story. Very nice, very nice. I need some sun. There's the personal best, and there's some sun. Sweet. Jeebus. Jeebus. Still haven't used the sun. Very nice, we cleared the region. Don't think we've hit our best points yet, because I keep clipping things. Aw, jump! I needed sun. Oh well. Okay, here it is over here. Can we get to it? Region 5. We haven't made it to Region 5 very often. And not today either. 487. We're above the 500 mark. Alright, probably have time for one more good run. Maybe 2. 6 minutes? Yeah. So when Z, basically the wheel imploded, it exploded, and the car was no longer able to move. The car DNF'd. So that was that. Like I said, the Lexus was able to come home in third. Luckily, everybody, obviously Damon was extremely distraught. And what do you say to somebody when something like that happens? I do not envy being him at that moment, trying to deal with the fact that you were basically solely responsible for the car losing the race. And and the damage is on top of that. But luckily, everybody, like I said, these are really great people, so nobody was hard on him. Nobody, like, got angry. We just tried to chin up and be excited about having the podium. And in the end, I think if you asked anybody there, we were, I say we, like, even I was, like, concerned after that happened, like, are they not going to invite me back? I'm his friend. But yeah, everybody still seemed, like, really glad we were there. Damon was there. Even though he's not a pro race driver, he's certainly a very hot shoe for the car. The way Chumpcar works, you know, there's a lot of complete amateurs that drive, and he knows his way around a racetrack, so he is very fast in the car. So yeah, I would say I'm not worried that we will not be doing such things in the future. And I do look forward to it because I don't know if you can tell just by the enthusiasm in my voice. It's most certainly one of the highlights of my year is going to those events. Even though it's Chumpcar and society does not rate it very high as far as, you know, series of racing go. It's the 14-hour, the endurance part of it makes it feel very real. It makes it feel like you're really part of something. You know, just getting a car to do that is such a challenge that it really does make it. Oh, we unlocked level 12. Your starting multiplier has been increased from 2 to 3. You must feel good about yourself. I do feel good about myself. Thank you, game. What's the new one? Use the jump ability 20 times. That shouldn't be too hard. Collect 3 boosters in the air. Haven't done that at all. Do a barrel roll 20 times in one run. That will never happen. Okay. Probably just a few minutes left. Yep. Grab some more water. Yeah, I will. I figured this was the best place to do this because if you're watching this series, you're probably here. I would say you're not here necessarily for the gameplay. You're probably here to hear what I have to say. So thank you for that, and thanks for listening to my excited ramblings about Chumpcar. Can't wait to do it again. Can't wait to share those experiences again. Hopefully I'll get even better at that. I was a little uncomfortable just having the GoPro stuff on, but I think it was really cool. I think it gave people a perspective of what real racing is like. Not the Formula Ones, the NASCARs, the Grand Ams or whatever that is now. It's a much different kind of experience, and although it's not as technically awesome, I think it has its own special appeal to it. Just like, I don't know, I'm not much of a sports person, but I would relate it to how you might go support your local, like, high school sports team, even though it's not as great of a game. Oh, let's go through the portal. As, some kind of professional sports team. You're there to support it. You're there... Where are we? Oh, it's the card one again. You're there to see the foundations of something. It's very, very cool to see racing at that level, and I hope more people get exposed to that through... Okay. Inevitable yet unexpected. Thanks. Yeah, I hope more people get to see that side of the sport through my content in the future. That's one of my greater goals as far as being a content creator. Which is confusing because this is a gaming channel at its core. But there's no reason, I think, to limit it to that. And hopefully we can continue to run into things. I know we're almost out of time. Alright, well, we got about 17 seconds left here, so I am going to pause the timer so we don't have to hear that awful sound this week. And thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening to my rambles again. I hope you at least learned something or enjoyed listening to the experiences. We actually had a pretty decent run here in Race the Sun. Still enjoying this format, so we're going to keep this up as a weekly thing. I hope you're enjoying. Thank you all again for watching, and I will see you next week. If you look here, the gray means basically there is just marginal interest. So there's a little bit of green right now in the competitiveness of the Hyper, Super, and Track Premium. But it's not very strong. The scores are down in the 64s. We need to get much higher than that. And I think that will be easy